It's been a week since my visit at my in-laws. How am I feeling? This is just hypochlorous acid, by the way. I thought I would do my super quick at the cabin morning skincare while I do a follow-up on how I'm feeling, simply because I think there's so many people with these in-law issues and they ruminate on them for weeks and weeks. I know I used to. I'd have an interaction with my mother-in-law or my in-laws and I would talk about it in circles and circles, and my husband would be listening to it over and over again, my analysis, my wondering, well, why does she do this? Doesn't she realize she's gonna push us away? Blah, 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 over and over. This is the Tula Rose Glow and Get It. It's just like a cooling under eye balm. I like the pink color, but they have other ones too. I'm gonna be honest with you, aside from the content that I've made about it, after a couple of days, I didn't think about it at all. Why is that? Because I've perfectly calibrated for myself what I need to do to process it. I have a partner who isn't caught in the middle. I feel like for people who are feeling a certain way about their relationship with their in-laws and their partner is kind of stuck in the middle where maybe they're really close with their family and so they're put in a hard spot, even if they're on your side, it can last longer because you feel like you're pulling them in two different directions. I'm almost out of this super group. I know now perfectly for myself what I need to do to process seeing my in-laws, even though I haven't done it in years. What are those steps for me? Number one, I debrief, not just with my phone to post for you guys on the internet. That's new, actually. I talk about it with my husband. I talk about it with my sister-in-law. Then I find I'm a little bit fatigued talking about it, so I don't really talk to anyone else about it. I don't try to find someone else that same day to talk to about it because I get fatigued. So then I just park it. So I talk to my husband, my sister-in-law, and then I park it for the day. I don't talk about it anymore. I write down, like journal, old school, how I'm feeling that evening. What are the big things that happened that made me feel a certain way? Why did they make me feel a certain way? What felt good? What felt bad? And I do that so that once I've slept on it, I can revisit it and see if I'm still feeling that same way. Then usually the next day I'll have people in my life that are checking in. They're often checking in that evening if they know that I'm seeing my in-laws, like even before I made social media content. So they're checking in with me. And so then I'll usually talk to my mom, my other best friends about how it went. And then there's further debrief. That probes other questions. And I sort of combine that debrief, how I'm feeling the next day, with what I've journaled. And between those two situations, I feel pretty resolved about it. Again, we should include the notes that there's never usually any sort of big incidents that are like, oh my God, like I need a trauma therapist for, thankfully. Although I know for some of you, those exist. I'm just adding some extra glowy sunscreen on the high points of my face because why the heck not? This is just a sunscreen stick by the brand Attitude. Really like it actually, but it's oil-based. So you gotta make sure, with all sunscreen, you gotta make sure you wash your face. But anyway, okay, back to what I was saying. So I debrief the night of, I journal, I debrief again with my friends later, and then usually I'm okay with it. So then usually if I like see someone who knows I saw my in-laws, like a coworker or whatever, and I don't see them for a couple days, I'm usually like, oh, it's fine, or oh, it was whatever. Like I don't need to, like, it doesn't feel like I'm rehashing things and opening things up. I'm like good about it. But then that's what brings me to my second point, which is I don't have a husband who's getting a phone call from his mom about how the event went and talking to her about it, and then he's like caught in the middle. I think if you have a husband or a partner that's getting that, where they're debriefing with their mom, or their mom is complaining or talking about the event to you, or their mom's talking to them all the time, and then you know your husband's talking to his mom, but also you feel a certain way, like that would be really hard. You don't want to be a partner or a spouse who's telling your partner who they can and can't talk to, because that doesn't feel good and that only causes more strain. But you need to figure out for yourself what trigger thing is what helps you move on. Maybe it's talking about it a ton. Maybe it's not talking about it at all. Maybe it's talking about it with certain people. Maybe it's seeing your therapist. Maybe it's booking an appointment to see your therapist the day after you're going to see your in-laws. And all of that is fine. But it's about figuring out what actually moves the needle on you being able to process it faster. That sounds wrong. I don't think you need to process it at any particular speed. I'm saying for your mental health, getting to a place where you're not ruminating about it over and over again and upset is what's best. Because not at all taking note of what is making things better for you means that every time you see them, if you're not in a place where you're not seeing them anymore, every time you see them, you're just having that same feeling for probably longer periods of time over and over. Nothing's gonna change unless something changed. For me, I found it was talking with my very inner circle journaling, reflecting on the journaling, and then talking about it with a few other people is what helped me really flesh it out and move forward. If you don't have anyone in your life who you can talk to about it, I do have a Facebook group, completely private, hidden Facebook group, so your other followers won't see that you're in it. If you wanted to join that, I'll link it below. Full disclosure, it is a paid for group, much like all the social media apps. Paid for things just have a more engaged group of people, and honestly, I wanted to make sure we kept the trolls out, and we have. But if you have no one in your life that you can talk to about these things, I really encourage you to join the Facebook group, because there's like 400 women in there who have all lived the same things and are all really helpful. Either way, I hope you find what works best for you, because I haven't thought about it in a week and a half, other than making this video. Time for me to go have a great day at the cabin. Talk to you later.